What's up, you guys? It's 2bricks, and if you saw my previous review of the Jurassic Park T-Rex Breakout set, you know that I've promised I would be doing a follow-up video that gave you some suggestions for improvements for the set. I really only have one major suggestion, and that is to replace the T-Rex, which, considering the set has the name T-Rex Breakout in it, seems like a big change. And it is, but I think that it is worth it. And I'm going to show you guys my T-Rex mock, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison to show you guys what I didn't like about the official Rexy and what I wanted to change about it and what I did to achieve my goals. But a quick disclaimer about this, if you purchase this set as somebody who is relatively new to Lego and or wanted to have it as a kid's toy, my representation is definitely not that. This is striving to be something that kids can be a little bit rough and tumble with, pick it up and play with it without things going too catastrophically wrong. And it's definitely much more in line with a toy. My one is designed to be a display piece. So it is still sturdy, relatively speaking, but it doesn't have the same design goals that this one does. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's take a look at my T-Rex compared with the official Lego one. All right, so here you go. This is my custom T-Rex mock on the left here, and this is the official one on the right. And you can see here that what I've tried to do is to capture the look of the specifically Jurassic Park T-Rex from the first movie as much as humanly possible, but I really wanted to stay within the same basic scale. So I think that aside from a slight bit of cartoony proportioning in that the head is a little bit oversized compared to the body, I think that I've tried to be as realistic as humanly possible, and I think that I've done okay. I'm pretty happy with the results. So the main things that I wanted to kind of capture, the iconic shape of the kind of chicken feet, because this is obviously a proto-bird, the curve that you see on the mouth there with the teeth and the row of teeth that dips down and comes back again, and then the thinness of the underside of the jaw, and also that kind of protruding bump on the back of the neck that goes into those angry eyebrows. That was kind of like, those were the things that I felt like if they had just gotten captured within this, I could have let everything else about it go and been happy with it. But yeah, since I was essentially starting over with those elements, I figured I'd just go through the whole thing and redesign it from scratch. So let's take a closer look at the custom T-Rex. All right, so just let me start the comparison up close here with the two Rex heads. Again, the head is really the main reason that I wanted to do this mod in the first place, and it is what motivated me to make this whole model. The jaw here, you can see on the bottom thickness of this and the stubbiness of it is really not working for me. I do like that you can open it and close it, and mine can do that as well. Mine has a stopper on it that prevents it from going beyond this 45-degree angle. And I think that when the mouth is closed up like this, it looks decently good. There is a little bit of the way that these tooth parts are made, there's kind of a bias towards one side, so one side is flat on the back here, so there is a little bit of misalignment with these teeth, but I'm primarily intending for this to be looked at from front at 3/4 angles because it is intended to go with the official set that this came from. So that's kind of my thinking there. But I really wanted to close up the gap here with the front, with the teeth. Like you can see, this one here looks like it had a run-in with the tooth fairy, and it's missing its front gnashers there. And for a predator that is as recognizable as this, I wanted that sharp, aggressive, mean look there with the front teeth. So that's definitely was something that was important to me to capture in this design. The kind of overall shaping here, like I was saying, with the angry brows, they definitely tried to get some kind of indication of that in here with these, these wedge slope pieces. But yeah, I don't know, the eyes stick out super duper far, and the eyes look very like sparkly and very friendly and very nice to me. So I think going for this more animalistic kind of dead center eye with the angry brow was definitely, yeah, preferable to me. Looked more like the source material, I think. And this is definitely intended not to be a paleontologically accurate T-Rex. This is definitely intended to be a replica of the movie prop from the original Jurassic Park film. So in case any of you come at me with T-Rex facts, I am purely looking at what we see from Stan Winston Studios in the film. So the head is built in a fairly fragile way, and that is only due to the fact that I have to angle in these two plate sections here to get the shape of that jaw. And then also the whole kind of front, this top section here is attached with a single stud. So definitely this, while you can come in here and open the jaw and everything, it's not designed or intended to be played with as a toy. You can grab the head and you can move it around and you can rotate it because it is on a ball joint. But it's not really intended for little kids to just grab and play with, because they'll probably smash it or get something out of alignment and it'll look all weird and broken. So yeah, that's something that you just kind of have to live with when you're building at this tiny scale and you're trying to capture something really specific. There's going to be those kind of issues. So yeah, if you want, you can set the head at this kind of sideways angle and look like it's coming in for a bite, which I really like. And then again, it's just sort of designed to have a fairly limited range of motion, but I really wanted it to be able to angle down slightly. And I'll show you when I plug it in to the official set. I'll show you why I wanted it to be able to do that. And then continuing back down the Rex here, we have the little dangly arms, which I wanted to be able to tuck in and angle down like this, at this kind of inward angle, and have the claws facing down towards the ground, because I feel like that is the look. I really wanted to maintain the brown stripy feel that Rexy has down her side here, which I think is really cool. And then the legs use the same ratcheted joints that are in the official one. And then they have articulation at the knee and ankle and toes. Oops, I lost a toe there, 1 second. So when I adjusted the angle of this ankle here, it relies on 2 of these ratcheted joints, and so it really kind of pops with some force. And so I just made one of these toes fly off. But yeah, it's got the nicely angled kind of spread look here for the claws, and then it's got a decent base of support so that you can pose her in multiple standing and walking poses, and she balances very well. It's kind of similar in terms of range of poses you can get, kind of similar to the range that you get with the official these guys, only the legs on these don't articulate. I actually lost the tail of my official molded T-Rex here, because a viewer had a question for me about the tail of these T-Rexes, if they can be modified. I took it off to see, and then I forgot where I put it. But actually you can see, since I have these here, you can kind of see how they stack up size-wise, except for the tail, of course. So this is the kind of jaw angle that it wants to be at, the open angle. This is the max draw angle here. So you can see they stack up pretty comparably. Like the head of the molded one is thinner and smaller overall, but not by much. I'm actually really happy that I was able to get it that close. So yeah, I think these two definitely stack up very well. But yes, on with the actual T-Rex here. So yeah, the kind of symmetrical-ish design, I have a little bit of asymmetry on here for the striping design, but I think in the official instructions, I think I'm just going to keep those the same, just because I don't want you to end up with odd numbers of parts. And I actually like the design a little bit better on this side. But yeah, so then moving back down, the thighs here are nicely kind of rounded out, and they've been capped off so that you don't see any ugly tops of hinges or anything that are present on the official one. So you can see all the innards of the hip joints and everything, and it's very exposed from the side. And then here I wanted to have that completely encapsulated, and I have done so. And then so you have a ball joint for the tail. So it's one of the larger style of ball joints. You can just see it if you look down in there a little bit. So I just wanted to be able to have a little bit of sideways articulation and then twist. And then for the bottom sections here, you can swing this one from side to side or up and down so you can get it straight. And then again here you can go pretty much straight with this, but I'm imagining it, you know, facing down most of the time, which is why I kind of built it with this curve built into the back section here. And then down into the back you have the clip and the bar with the rounded stud, so you can kind of swing that any direction you like. Tried to keep the color scheme fairly reserved and consistent down the tail there, so it helps it to blend a little bit better. And then yeah, if you just pose this and you place the toes down flat, I think it has a really, really nice look to it. The kind of specialized mud piece, I guess, this piece right here. I say mud piece because it was used in the previous large T-Rex set that we got from Lego. This was used to represent mud, tracks on the ground from tires. There was a bunch that were stacked up side by side. So I think that represents kind of the tendons of the toes in a really, really fun and appealing way. And it just creates a nice little stopper there to keep the angle of the feet correct, and keep them from going back too far. And yeah, I think that all works out really, really well. So there is Rexy standing tall, and I love it. It's you know, the look that I want to see from my Lego T-Rex, and also just this front 3/4 angle when I can get kind of down to a fig's eye view. I can see up on the inside of that mouth there. It just gives me the joy. It gives me the feeling that I want to feel from my Jurassic Park T-Rex. So there you go. Let me go ahead and place her in her pride of place there in the scene in the official set, and I'll show you how she connects, and we'll do a little wrap up. All right, so here I have my scene, and here I have my Rexy. So I've just posed her with the one leg forward, because, you know, that's, and up a little bit, because that's going to be stepping onto the vehicle there. So you have these studs down here, which are used to connect the feet of the official model, and 3 of those studs will plug into this bottom foot right here. So that all works out absolutely fine. And then this foot just rests on the top of the vehicle. I didn't find that there was a need to try to attach it to these angled studs back here. It supports itself perfectly fine without the need for that. And you know, just resting on the car gives it plenty enough strength and stability. And I just think that that looks so epic, and I'm so happy with it. Let me get down and give you guys a lower angle here, and just really get the feel of the scene, the breakout, the kids, Alan Grant with his flare. You can imagine the rain. I just think that looks absolutely epic, and I'm so happy with it. So hopefully this is something that you guys were interested in having as well, and this will give you some joy and some extra value out of your set. Now let me head off a couple of common viewer questions that I know I'm going to get. First of all, can I just buy 2 sets and make this? No, you cannot. This is a new and unique design. I stayed away from a lot of the pieces that were used in this one only because they just didn't really work for what I was trying to do. And what I found was that when I tried to integrate a lot of the color scheme from this, it just ended up looking very, very toyish and colorful, and I really wanted to keep it a lot more muted. This is a very, very specific piece of nostalgia for me, and I think I just had really specific thoughts and feelings about how the design should be, and so yeah, I just ended up limiting myself in that regard. So unfortunately, if you do want to build exactly this, you will have to get more pieces than just taking apart your basic T-Rex here and just redoing it in a certain way. But luckily, quite a few of the pieces are going to be reusable just by virtue of them both being brown dinosaurs. Lots of the plates, lots of the curved slopes and things can go into this. The same claw pieces are used in my one. So yeah, there's definitely crossover for sure. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I think it needed to be a certain way. So yeah, that's that. If you guys have any thoughts about the T-Rex, if you think I'm way off base, if you think that the one included in the official set is way better, let me know down in the comments. I'm really, really curious to hear your thoughts. Personally, I'm very, very happy with how this looks, and I'm going to be putting it on display like this and taking apart the official one to use in other mocks. And that's that. I mean, I think in terms of the look, Alan Grant down here looks really tiny in comparison to the Rex, but then he looks really tiny in comparison to the official set as well. I mean, I think that's just by virtue of it being a brick-built dinosaur. I don't think you can really do much more with it to get it to be more accurate. Even these ones are a tiny bit overscaled, although not by much. But yeah, I think that it still is relatively plausible. And again, need I mention the scale of Lego Velociraptors? In case anybody wants to talk about the scale being off, don't forget that Velociraptors are like 18 feet tall in the Lego world. So there's that. But yeah, so there you go. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. If you, hopefully I showed you everything that you wanted to see about the design. And if you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. And of course, check out my Rebrickable page linked down below for the instructions for this. You can, once you download the instructions, you will get a PDF building guide. You will get a parts list that is easily uploadable to Rebrickable, Bricklink, or a third-party brick seller of your choice. And the building instructions are really easy to follow step by step, just like they would be in an official Lego manual. So yeah, I've really had very little in terms of problems with that. Most people have a great and easy time building the mocks that I produce, so hooray. All right, you guys, so that's going to do it for today. Thank you for sticking with me on my rambly showcase video here. This is just one of those kind of dream sets for me, and I think being able to, in my opinion, perfect it to this degree to where I'm happy with it has been a really fun experience. So hopefully you guys enjoyed taking a look at this with me, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks again so much for watching. Bye for now.